What's really good? What's really good? What is really good? Y'all know what time it is. Friday Night Live with the Sanchez Show, right here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. We're all over the place. Make sure you follow me across all social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to the Sanchez Show, streaming on YouTube and Spotify. And like every Friday night, as I tell you guys, we're on Facebook as well and Twitch. Got a lot of great questions we're gonna get to. You guys know this is my time of year. It's football season, which means we got picks. We got a lot of analytic stuff to get into. We're answering questions, comments. We might have guests popping from time to time. Will Gordon should be joining me shortly. As you know, we are the opinionated ones. That is our segment. We get into every game coming up in week one, and we do this all year from week one through week 18 through the playoffs. Every game, we pick it. We give you our opinion on it. And we keep track of it. We're going to see how it goes this year. Last year was a very successful season. We're hoping to do the same thing again. I want to start off tonight, though. I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend last weekend. As always, thank you to the supporters of the Sanchez Show, as well as the supporters of Real Fans Real Talk. As you guys know, Sunday or Monday, depending on what's going on in the sports world, Trip Young and myself normally come together to form Real Fans Real Talk and discuss all the news that's going on in the sports world. So we appreciate you guys there. I want to start off tonight. Very special shout out, September 6th. Shout out to and happy birthday to my oldest daughter, Leilani. Love you, baby girl. Hope you're having a great one as well. Now, we got games to pick. We got questions to get into, but we also got the game on in the background. Now, the game tonight is on Peacock. I apologize. My coverage of the game is lagging just a little bit, because I had to use an alternate source to get the game. I didn't realize it was on Peacock until the game started. So I am using an alternate source. But as I can see right now, as the show is starting, Green Bay just intercepted Jalen Hurts, which I guess leads to Ron. Tyson was the first one in the chat. We're going to get to Tyson in a second. But since I'm talking Jalen Hurts and he just threw that interception, let's get to this question from Ron. Must-win game for Jalen Hurts? I don't think so. It's game one. It's opening day. It's also a neutral site game in Brazil. So I wouldn't be surprised if both these teams, had moments of struggle and then had moments of great success. It's a neutral site. We heard all of the talk coming out this week that players kind of were confined to their hotel room. They didn't get to enjoy being in Brazil. There was a lot of chatter about the safety of the players as well as the security around the stadium because of all the violence that's taking place down there. So I wouldn't be surprised if either team is a little off and how that might have affected their game plan. Keep in mind, we don't know what the walkthroughs were like there. We don't know what the practices, if they were able to really practice at the field, were like. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind if these teams struggle tonight. So I'm not going to read too much into it. I won't call it a must win. I won't say that. Also, it is week one. So that's there. There was a question. Oh, Tyson. I'm going to get to the other one after this as well. Who you got in tonight's game? Shit, by the time you read this, the game will be started. It has. You're right. We were starting at 8:30. The game started at 8:10. But shout out to Tyson. Been a great support lately. Oh, also, before I go any further, I apologize. Shout out to my man, Mario Edwards, Carolina Sports Plus. You see it. You guys see me all the time with the different fitted. I came out with the Colts jersey on the night. He done blessed me with the Colts jersey. Make sure you tune in with him. He got some great jerseys and apparel over there. Carolina Sports Plus, man. Lock in with him. He's been on the show before. He comments from time to time. He's got a great selection of jerseys over there. He just sent me the Jordan Olympic joint that was hanging in the background last week. If you guys remember, if you look back at the footage, he got another one that we're working on that he's going to send over to me. But, he keep me nice. This is the Anthony Richardson joint. You see, I got the 40th anniversary patch. This was from last season. I just never got to wear it on the show. I waited until it came in. I was going to save it for this season because Anthony Richardson was out at that point. But y'all see, I got my Colts gear on. We're excited. It's week one. A lot of hope for a lot of different teams. But I want to shout them out because, like I said, this is a beautiful joint, right? I get a lot of compliments about this joint. Who you got in tonight's game? So last week, we picked the Thursday game, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and we picked tonight's game, Friday's game. At the time, Green Bay was -3. I like Green Bay. The line moved down to -2.5. I still like Green Bay. As I've said, though I like Philly to win the NFC East, and though I think Philly is probably a top 3 team in the NFC, I got 49ers in Detroit ahead of them. They got a lot of secondary issues, and I think this is a perfect matchup for Green Bay because of all those wide receivers and the way Jordan Love was playing towards the end of last year. Also, as I mentioned, practice leading up to this game. I wasn't sure if either team really was able to get a lot of practice leading up to this game and get on that field. So I would expect, like I said, some moments of struggle, some moments of triumph. But overall, I think a good game. And I like Green Bay. I got them at the -3. So I am going with Green Bay tonight to at least, I'm sorry, +3. I got Green Bay to at least cover, and I think they could win. Last time I checked, they were +105 again because that line was starting to shift. Shout out Miguel. What do you need to see from the Cowboys? That's a tough question, Miguel, because I don't think there's one thing we need to see in the regular season when it comes to the Cowboys. I think for most people, the struggles with the Cowboys is more about really what they can do in the playoffs. Can they get right come playoff time? Can they win a big playoff game, whether at home or on the road? So I don't think that it's anything in particular that I need to see from them week 1 or throughout the regular season. I think it's more about, will they develop into a team that can win consistently come playoff time? I believe the last 5 years, if you look at the numbers, they've got the second best record in the regular season in the NFL. Only the Kansas City Chiefs have won more games than them over the last 5 years. We know what the Chiefs has done over the last 5 years. They won 3 Super Bowls. But other teams who haven't won as many regular season games as the Cowboys have maximized on their opportunity come playoff time. We've seen the 49ers in the Super Bowl. We've seen the Eagles in the Super Bowl. We've seen the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So we've seen, we saw Tampa when Tom was there. We've seen other teams maximize their opportunity when they have a good season. That's what we haven't seen from the Cowboys. So for me, it's going to be consistency later in the season come playoff time. In regards to Sunday, I think they're going to be all right Sunday. I'm going to get to the picks in a second, and I'm going to have them scrolling across the bottom right here of the screen with my picks as well as Will Gordon's picks. But that leads me to Kyrie Thompson's question. Surprised Dallas as an underdog. So last time I checked, as we were getting ready to record, they got Cleveland as a 2.5-point favorite. The way Vegas has been doing the lines the last couple of years, in the past, it always was 3 points automatically towards the home team as a home field advantage. And then if they were the weaker team, you would see that in the line. The home team may only be favored by 1 or a half or underdogs at home if they were a weaker team. Because I think Vegas views these teams as somewhat equals, they have the line at 2.5. That's more so because Cleveland's at home. Cleveland had a top 5 defense last year. There's been a lot of chatter about Dallas's running game. Is Zeke right? Is it Rico Dowdle? Delvin Cook getting signed late. Also, after CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys' receiving room isn't that strong and isn't that scary. So I think that's another thing Vegas is factoring in. A very good Cleveland defense. You look back to last year, Cleveland at home was a very good defense. Again, probably the best defense in football. Their struggles were really on the road, and that got exposed in the playoff game against the Texans. So that's why Vegas has them. So I'm not surprised they're an underdog, but I do like them. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that when we get to that game. I do like Dallas in that game for a couple of reasons. Also, Kyrie, I see your other question. Concerned about Michigan. So my Michigan Wolverines quarterback situation. No, I'm not, because we expected this. They lose their running back and their quarterback to the NFL along with some other guys. So you expect it to be a little bit of a drop-off. So I wouldn't say I'm concerned about it. I think this is what normally happens. It's very rare. I can't really think of too many teams that went from an NFL caliber quarterback to the next guy and were able to maintain that level of excellence. A couple of teams come to mind. I mean, I remember when USC went from Carson Palmer to Matt Leinart, and that they were able to maintain that level of excellence. But yeah, other than that, most times when you're a college program that has an NFL quarterback, when he leaves, there's going to be struggle that next year. You're going to have moments of doubt that next year. So I'm not really surprised by that. And I think Michigan probably will struggle. So yeah, let's see what else we got. And I'm responding to Will Gordon, y'all. Yeah. We said, what do you need to see with the Cowboys? All right. Ravens Chiefs, I'm going to save that one. We're going to try to see how much time Will Gordon before he gets on. I read, what's the biggest headline heading into week 1? It's a great question. I guess I'll say a couple. It's obviously the Cowboys going to get a lot of headlines. Can the Cowboys get right and get over the hump? I think the 49ers are an interesting one. They've been to two of the last five Super Bowls. They've played in four straight NFC Championship games. At some point, they got to take that next step. They got to win it all. And if they don't, then you start to question if Kyle Shanahan's the right guy there. Who else? Buffalo. No Stephon Diggs. So those are the ones that really stick out to me the most. Cleveland as well because Deshaun Watson. Hold on. Sorry guys. Will Gordon and I we texting back and forth. We're trying to get him on right now. A little bit of technical difficulties. But Deshaun and Cleveland is one that I'm paying attention to because a lot of money there. They got to make it work, and it's got to happen now. Stefanski's a two-time coach of the year. He's made the playoffs with Joe Flacco. He's made the playoff with Baker Mayfield. Yet Deshaun hasn't really succeeded there. So that becomes one to pay attention to as well. Those are some of the ones that stick out right off the bat. Ramsey gets 3-year extension worth $24 million per year, makes the highest pay. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's been an amazing player, and Miami's all in on trying to win with this current group. It was one of the things that we kind of talked about, I believe not last week, but 2 weeks ago when we did the AFC East. They were all in. Obviously, they signed Beckham. They're hoping Beckham can kind of give him what he gave the Rams a couple years ago. But they make the trade for Bradley Chubb, Tyreek's extension, Jalen Waddle's money. They're all in with this team right now, and they're trying to make it work right now. And again, I apologize, guys, if I'm a little delayed. I showed the Packers picking up a fumble. The Eagles look really bad right now. Eagles looking really bad right now. Another turnover. We're trying to get Will Gordon in here right now. Yeah. So, but yeah, Jalen Ramsey, like I said, that's just where they're at with it right now. They're all in on this current team, and as they should. Let's see. Which new running back will impress the most tonight? So I think Saquon. It's still early in the game, and I know Green Bay's. Like I said, I'm a little behind, so I apologize if the score is a little different than what I think. But Green Bay, I think Josh Jacobs is perfect for what they're trying to do. Saquon will get more headlines, and I think Saquon will look flashier. But Green Bay with Josh Jacobs, I think that's the better fit. His level of physicality, his ability to help out in both the pass and running game will be a better and I think a bigger impact fit. So I'll take Josh Jacobs tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saquon has some gaudy numbers. Yeah. So let's see. Yep. So we're waiting to get Will Gordon in here. Let's see. Let's talk. Let's see what we're looking like here on this game. Keep sending your questions in. We got the game going on in the background. Green Bay, from what I can see, is driving again. Look, put another score up. Philadelphia offensively struggling, and this is one of the concerns with Philadelphia this year. Sirianni last year firing his offensive and defensive coordinator middle of the season. They couldn't get right and get on the same page, and they struggled late down the season. And really, after that 49er loss, that was the one that really the wheels kind of fell off at that point. They struggled from that point, but they gotta get it right there, or if Sirianni could be out of there this season. So again, back to the question that Ron put up. I don't consider this a must win, but they gotta get right. They gotta get some things right. And the secondary, they spent a lot of money, a lot of draft capital, I should say, on that secondary. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the season because we know the veterans they have there, older guys, been through some wars. Darius Slade, Bradbury, they were good the year they went to the Super Bowl, but they're older guys. So you got to see if you can develop the younger guys to give you a chance now. Green Bay's an up and coming threat, but as I mentioned, I think Detroit and San Fran are the class of the NFC, and I don't think the Eagles are right on that same level with them. So they need that secondary to step up. Will Gordon will be joining us shortly. He and I are texting, so I apologize, guys. I'm not just checking my phone. He and I are having conversation back and forth. But let me get into last night's game while we wait for him to get on the live. Chiefs beat the Ravens 27-20 to start the season. Some of my takeaways from it. So the Chiefs defense is phenomenal. And the Chiefs defense is really growing up right now. They've been through the wars. It's one of the things that I really highlighted as to why I think they have a legitimate chance to three-peat. It is one of the toughest things to do. It's never been done in the Super Bowl era. There have been teams that have come close. Last 35 years, you had 49ers come close in that 89-90 season with Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, Charles Haley was still on that team. They lose in an NFC Championship game to the Giants in a game that they were winning, and Roger Craig fumbles late and gives the Giants a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. You had the Cowboys in 94, 95, when they were back-to-back champs after beating Buffalo twice. They played the 49ers for the third time in the NFC Championship game. That's the Deion Sanders year when he was in San Fran, and they lose that game. And the one thing I think that's different about this Kansas City team compared to those teams were those teams, though good defensively, they really were carried by their offense, right? The star power and the identity of those teams was more about their offense. The Chiefs are similar, but the one thing that the Chiefs I think are different than those two teams are when you look at how the Chiefs won last year, going on the road and winning these defensive battles, the identity of the Chiefs is starting to shift. Now, I love what I saw from Xavier Worthy yesterday. I like what I saw from Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce wasn't a big factor. Isaiah Pacheco was good in that game. But the defense, the speed of that defense, I think is what stood out the most to me. That they look like they're taking it up to another level now. And now with Spagnuolo's game planning and with the athletes on that defense, that might be the strength of that team. And I know that's crazy to say when you have Patrick Mahomes, you got Travis Kelce. They didn't have Hollywood Brown yesterday. But when I look at them, that to me was really the difference in the game. If not for Lamar's ability to scramble and extend plays, any other team I think probably gets blown out by 20 plus points yesterday. Lamar made his offensive line look much better than they really were yesterday because he avoided a lot of sacks and he created with his legs to extend plays. But the Chiefs defense looks really, really good. And I think the Chiefs defense now might be the strength of that team. We'll see how this plays out throughout the season. But I like what I saw from the Chiefs defense. On the flip side, I think the Ravens, they got to make some adjustments. The O-line looked bad yesterday. The illegal formations, some holding penalties, pass rushes just getting to Lamar very, very quickly. They got to make a lot of adjustments. But the one thing that stuck out to me that I didn't like was the way they used Travis Henry. To me, I thought they tried to get a little too cute. Too much pistol, too much shotgun. That's not who who Derrick Henry is. That's not when he's at his best. You need to get him in single back, some I formation, and just run the ball and be able to run some stretch, some zone reads, and get him out full steam ahead towards the second level. Out of the pistol, too many times he's pitter-patter on his feet. He got to take his time to get to the hole, and then he can't rush through the handoff because if it's a RPO, you got to give Lamar the opportunity to pull the ball back. So to me, it seemed a little choppy. I think it'll get better. I think they will be better moving forward. But that, to me, is going to be the adjustment they got to make. That defense didn't look as good yesterday, but I think some of it was also adjusting to some of the new players on the Chiefs. Like I said, Xavier Worthy, his speed was a major impact yesterday. You saw it on the end around. You saw it on the deep pass play with Marlon Humphrey. There's a miscommunication between him and the safety. So the speed played a factor, and you wonder how that will affect other teams, especially when they get Hollywood Brown in the mix. But overall, I thought the Ravens did a much better job on Travis Kelce. I thought Pacheco was very tough, but they met his physicality. And really, they had some moments in that game. I mean, their defense, gets a big stop late to give them a chance to try to tie the game. The defense also came up with an interception when it looked like Kansas City might start to put them away. So my take from this game is that the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are the best team in football, but the Ravens aren't far off. And I think with minor adjustments, the Ravens could be in the mix. I took them at +3. I liked how the bet looked all night. If Isaiah Likely is in bounds at the end of that game, you're talking about them going for 2. We saw Harbaugh already have made up his mind he was going to go for 2 and try to go for the win. So they would have covered the 3. But more importantly, it was a one-score game, and that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Those teams are pretty evenly matched. The difference is the Chiefs don't make as many mistakes. And when the Ravens look back at the tape, one of the things that the Ravens are going to really, really kick themselves in the ass about was there were some throws to be made. The Zay Flowers back in the end zone is the most notable. He's wide open. If Lamar just gives him a chance to make the play, it's a touchdown. He misses Likely streaking across the back of the end zone the first time when it looked like he got hurt. And then I think there was one earlier in the game when they're down 20-10, and Zay Flowers beats Jalen Watson down the sideline. And Lamar's late throwing the ball, and then it gets underthrown and it allows Jalen Watson back in the play. But if that ball is thrown on time, that's a touchdown. So when you're the Ravens, you look back, I know you got to live with some of those throws with Lamar, but you're going to look back and say, man, there's about 2 or 3 plays that if we just make that play, the outcome of that game is completely different. Even if we don't make all 3 of them. Again, if he just hits Zay Flowers, who's standing in the back of the end zone wide open, at the very least, they got a chance to try to tie or win the game at the end of regulation. They missed their opportunity. The Ravens are close. They are close. They're just not the Chiefs just yet. As always, man, this is the Sanchez Show, streaming live every Friday night. We're over on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook. Make sure you shoot us a like, shoot us a comment, send in your questions, topics you want to hear discussed. Don't hesitate, guys. Don't be shy. Make sure you follow me across all social media platforms. You see the handle right there. I'm going to also start putting some of the picks up so you guys can see what I like for this weekend, and then I'll go more in depth on why I'm taking what games I'm taking. Yeah. Got the pick streaming across the bottom. Scrolling right across the bottom, guys. Do with them what you like. Run with them. There's a couple games. Like I said, we're going to get to the 401k pick of the week very soon. We're going to get to upset pick of the week very soon. Will Gordon will be joining us shortly. Will, once you're ready, give me a thumbs up. We're going to bring you on the live. Here we go. We got the other half of the opinionated ones, Will Gordon, in the building. How you doing today, bro?
What do you do, baby?
That's really good. You're gonna have to lower the TV though, bro, because we're getting too much feedback from the TV.
Oh, okay. Cool. We good?
Yeah. We good. How you, bro?
Good, man. Ready for some football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is that time of the year.
Trying to get my earbuds to tune in.
No problem. While you do that, I'm gonna let you know what we got going on. Got a couple questions here for you as well. I was letting the people know we do have the 401k pick of the week and the upset pick of the week coming. I got the game on in the background, but because it's on Peacock, I had to use an alternate source, so I might be a little behind in the live action. Right now, I got it Green Bay up 6-0.
These buds lunching, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and ixnay on these. So you ain't got Peacock?
Nah.
Come on, though. They're gonna have a lot of games this year.
I mean, I'm gonna have to get it now because I know NBA games gonna be over there as well.
Mm-hmm. It's cheap. It's only like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, I'll add it on. I got a lot of different stuff I use to watch stuff, so I wasn't stressing it. But
I watch Peacock a lot. Like I didn't think I was gonna watch it as much as I do, but it got some of my go-tos. I know we ain't no ad for them and nothing. They ain't paying us.
Cause you got the Office over there.
Yeah, they got the for anybody that's a fan of The Office, they got the super fan episodes, which is they're like the uncut versions of the episodes they put out. So a lot of them are like 35, 40-minute episodes when they show everything that hit the cutting room floor. Them joints are hilarious. And but it's got a lot. Like tonight, see how we going off a tangent. They I just found this show called well it just came out I think this week. Fight Night, something like that.
Okay.
It's about a heist that happened at a Muhammad Ali fight. It's a
Oh
true
yeah, yeah,
story.
yeah. With Taraji
But
P Henson, Kevin Hart on
Taraji
that
and
joint.
that guy,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, Samuel Jackson. I mean the cast is stellar. I only saw the first 10 minutes, but it looked like it's gonna be something. And then I watch all the Chicago shows and all them joints is on there, all the Law and Orders, all the First 48s. But now you got a reason to get it because of the football and basketball.
Yeah.
And plus, like, because I'm a cord cutter. So either I'm streaming off apps or I'm just watching over the air antenna TV. And like when it comes to like last night, the game was on Peacock and it was on over the air NBC. It looked better on Peacock because over the air is only going to be like a 720 broadcast.
Right.
Where on Peacock it's going to be the highest level of picture that they can pump. Pause. So it's like the streaming is a better option. It's for
Nah,
for picture clarity.
nah, that's a fact. I cut the cord as well. Like I watch all my stuff off of. I mean, as far as sports anyway, off of YouTube TV.
Hmm.
But I'm at Peacock now
Yeah,
as well
same
because
concept.
yeah. So I'm gonna add that now. But like I said, we got picks to get to. Obviously, it's an exciting time of year, week one of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Let's start with yesterday's game. Tyson, that was the first comment on it. He wants the thoughts on the Chiefs Ravens game. I'm gonna let you go, bro.
Man, what a good game to start this season with. I was pretty impressed with what I saw as far as the competitive standpoint of the game. Um, there were a few surprises in there for me. Like I didn't think Baltimore was gonna throw as much as they did. I didn't think the game script really leaned that way that they had to go to the pass as frequently as they did. I thought we might have saw a little bit more Derrick Henry than we did too. Um, and then on the Chiefs side of the ball, they got they got a new toy in Xavier Worthy. Well, he only touched the ball 3 times, right?
Yeah, and two of them were
And scored
touchdowns.
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's a new problem. It's a new problem in Kansas City with him. A lot of a lot of football fandom now is fantasy football related because a lot fantasy football has brought so many people to the sport that don't really get into the X's and O's and the concepts and all 24 and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean all 22. But what you saw out of the Chiefs last night, a lot of the fans are going to be panicking about Mark Andrews on the Ravens side. A lot of people are going to be panicking about um, Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey only how many targets he get? 4. He got 4 targets.
it wasn't a typical Travis Kelsey night, but that
Nah,
I thought that was to
but
be expected though because he has such an impact in the AFC Championship game. You know, the Ravens circled him on the game plan and
yeah,
said anybody
yeah.
but him.
And every time you saw, and if you watched the film, every time he went into a break, like he was already facing man coverage off the line, and as soon as he went into his break, no matter if it was to the left or to the right, or if he went on a seam, if he went to the left, then the mic was helping. If he went to the right, Sam was helping. And then if he took it upfield, the safety was waiting on him. So it was like, yeah, you're right. It was like anybody but Travis. And I'm not worried about that at all for him because he's going to get open. Because now Xavier Worthy is going to be he's going to be the one on the top of the board on defensive coordinators on their whiteboard, because he showed the ability to with his speed. You already know he can stretch the field, but yesterday he showed that he can work underneath too. You know what I mean? And then the Chiefs are just going to be a problem, because when you've got the best quarterback in the league, when you've got arguably the best coach in the league, and then you've got guys surrounding that quarterback and in that coach's scheme that fit perfectly to do exactly what they want to accomplish, it's going to be trouble.
The Chiefs
Bernie
are tough.
Mac.
Yeah, the Chiefs are tough because they have a certain level of balance that you just can't find around the league. Because as you mentioned, Travis Kelce, we know what he can do, right? But now you add in the speed factor of Worthy, and then when they get Hollywood Brown back, those two speed guys. And then Rashid Rice has shown now for 2 years that he could beat single coverage. He can get open on single coverage, which is, like you said, from yesterday, they're giving all the attention to Kelce. So now Rice is winning all his battles.
That's what I meant to say, because Rice was getting all that intermediate stuff.
Yeah,
he's winning. And then he was getting the run after the catch.
Right. He's winning those battles. And then when you try to go and match up with your secondary and you start taking linebackers off the field, Pacheco then brings a physicality to the running game now that could punish you if you don't have the right personnel out there. So I think the Chiefs are a tough matchup. For me, two things stuck out, and I'm glad you mentioned about the play calling for the Ravens. I thought they made the same mistake they made in the AFC Championship game. They got too caught up in letting Lamar drop back and freelance from the pocket, which led to him having 16 rushes attempts along with all the passing attempts. But what I really didn't like, and we got to pay attention to see how Todd Monken plays this the rest of the season, is Derrick Henry is too physical of a back for you to be playing out of pistol. You got to line up two tight end, some zone reads, some stretch plays, I formation, and let him just get momentum going forward. Because him standing next to Lamar and then having to kind of pace himself to determine whether I'm getting a handoff or not, that's just not going to work. He's not that type of back. You got to let him get his momentum going forward and let him punish defenders, not him taking these choppy steps behind the line of scrimmage to determine if I'm going to get the handoff or not. That, to me, I didn't like about them. Their O-line was terrible last night. I said this a couple minutes before you joined the live. To me, the Chiefs' defense is better than they were even last year. You could see it. The speed that they were flying around with, the physicality, the confidence that secondary is playing with. If Lamar wasn't the type of quarterback he is, that can move around the way he does, they would have got blown out by 20-plus points last night. And he probably would have got sacked 6 or 7 times because the Chiefs were beating him off the line most of the game. There's even a clip circulating right now on that last drive where they have Justice Hill in there in the backfield, and Justice Hill is the guy who's trying to block Chris Jones. Like, who drew up that scheme? Why at any point would Chris Jones ever be able to get isolated on Justice Hill in a situation where you know we're passing the ball? So they got some work to do. I don't think the Ravens are on the level of the Chiefs. I think they're close though, because you see Lamar is the X factor for them. When Lamar got going in the second half and he's just freelancing, there isn't anybody else in the league like him. His ability to move around, extend plays, run, all those type of things just become too much of a threat. And the Chiefs got worn down as the game went on. You could see it as well. But they got a game plan better to use Derrick Henry better. There's no reason that Lamar's getting 16 carries and then Derrick Henry's got 14. Yeah. I think Justice Hill even played more snaps than Derrick Henry yesterday. So they got to figure that out.
Because Henry, they took him off the field as soon as they went down. Pause. It was like as soon they took him out of every passing situation, and and Lamar dropped back 39 times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you do that, you only giving him 30% of the snaps. What's the point?
Yeah, they had some, and they were too predictable early in the game too. Early in the game, every first down was a handoff. I'm like, that's too predictable.
But they're not used to the balance that I think that they are able to have right now. They're not used to that. So I think it might take a couple weeks to figure out what the proper balance is, because they never really had a battering ram type running back like they do now, and it might be a case of, it's a new toy, but you don't know how to use them until you know what I mean. Like you might have read the manual on the new toy. You might have read the manual, but until you going against other kids in your neighborhood, you know what I mean, you might not know how to use the toy properly.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right about that. I don't think they know how to utilize them yet. I don't think they
Okay,
really.
Taquan.
I don't think they really know or understand the strengths of his game, because he is and has always been a guy that just wears you down as the season goes on.
Saquon out the
Yeah, I
backfield
saw
for
that.
about
I
a
saw that
15-yard or so.
on a wheel
On a
route.
little
I saw
wheel,
that. Yeah, I saw that.
wheel, on a little trike wheel.
So they
You
gonna have to.
I got him in fantasy. And I'm like, yes.
they got to. I got Devontae Smith tonight in our league. In the league
I
that we're
got
in
to drink
together.
to that. In that joint?
Yeah, so I got
Hey,
Devontae Smith.
Wait, was that our league? No, was it? Whose league was I at? I'm in 3 leagues. It's my big money league, my work league. I think it was the league. All right. So you remember how you and Trip was like, man, you gotta join, da 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 da. I joined this league, bro, and I'm questioning it right away.
Why? What happened?
Sidebar, listeners. A lot of I'm gonna assume a lot of y'all play fantasy football.
What happened?
In what world does the number 2 overall pick, the number 2 pick in the entire draft, is Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, listen, I can't
Explain. What is this league you got me in?
Listen. Whatever guys do with their team, that's their business.
Dog, I need explanation.
I listen. I don't even remember who had. I will have to look back at the league. I don't know who had the number. I don't know who had the number 2 pick. But if that's who you taking, that's who you taking. I don't care.
Is Mrs. Kupp in our league?
Listen,
is his wife in there?
Listen, again, whatever
or his
guys
mama
do,
or his daddy.
I don't care. I don't care what somebody else did with their team. If that's who you take, that means you love.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm not in some kind of weird vortex or something weird.
Hey.
Yo, Cooper Kupp number 2 overall is diabolical.
Unless they're expecting him to duplicate what he did a couple years ago when he broke the receiving record. Maybe that's what they're expecting, because Puka has
listeners and watchers, if y'all play fantasy, hit the comments and tell me what you think about Cooper Kupp being the 2nd player in all of fantasy drafted, and tell me it ain't some shenanigans. There's something ain't right.
I don't give a fuck what nobody else drafted. I was happy with what I drafted, so I'm good.
Cooper Kupp 2nd, dog.
That means it benefited you more. There was better quality guys on the board.
Yeah. But like we do have people. Everybody in our league is like legally capable of making their own decisions, right? It's like we're not taking advantage of nobody.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right.
Like I said,
I just had to get that out there real quick. That's nuts.
Hey, listen, like I said, to me, I could care less. I don't care who anybody drafts, what they take on you. Whatever you do with your team,
no,
it's your business.
Yeah, I get that. It's just when I saw that come across as the 2nd pick in the draft, it made me say, wait a minute. Do we have 5-year-olds in this league? Like, what is going on? I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean,
Cooper Kupp
I saw it, but listen, I mean, I question some of the decisions that's made, because I don't remember who it was, but I think the first quarterback off the board was like in the 4th round, which to me made no sense. I'm like, it's still so much skill position guys available, and the quarterback position. Remember, you're not playing real football. You're not playing Madden.
Yeah.
Damn it. There's 20 quarterbacks in the league who can get you good production every week. Load up. Why wouldn't you load up on skill position guys who are going to give you the most value in terms of touchdowns and yardage, and then just grab your quarterback later on? Because it don't matter if it's a quarterback who's just average. If he's throwing for 250 every week with 2 touchdowns, he's going to give you good production.
And the only time that makes sense though is like my big money league. It's the scoring is like ridiculous. So quarterbacks go in the first round in my league because the way we score, they get way too many points. Like
Yeah.
for instance, what was like the universal point scoring for Lamar yesterday was about what 30?
Yeah, I know in my other league there was a guy who had Lamar, and I think he finished with like 38 points.
Guess what he had in my league?
Yeah, something like that in that range.
Mind you, every other position is pretty much on par with every other league, like as far as scoring goes. You know what Lamar had in my league yesterday?
What's that?
71.
Listen, I mean,
See,
I
that's
get
the
it.
kind of league you take
Right.
your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, you take your quarterback, but even still,
But
like,
then and only then.
yeah, but even still, you could get like realistically. I think last year, I think 8 quarterbacks threw for over 4,000 yards last year. So
Okay.
when I say there's always going to be value, like you could draft Jared Goff in like the 10th round and still get a guy who's going to throw for 4,000 yards and have close to 30 touchdowns.
Yeah. Like a
You know what I'm
dude like
saying?
Anthony Richardson in my league is not that valuable because most of his yards are going to come on the ground.
He's gonna
And
get rushed
those
up.
and those yards are treated just like any other position in yards. But in our league, the way in the passing, like it's so many bonus points that you can get. Like I said, Lamar was 30 in most leagues and he was 71 in mine.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
only time I could see taking quarterbacks super early.
Yeah, in my work league, like I said, my man's who got Lamar when I looked at the scoreboard today, because I have Xavier Worthy in that league, so he got me 22 points yesterday.
You start him?
Yep, I started him yesterday.
Okay.
I started him, and so I messed up in our Real Fans Real Talk league though, because I started Xavier Worthy, and I have in our Real Fans Real Talk league, I have Isaiah Likely, and I never moved him. I never moved him to start.
I think I'm playing you this week, man.
Are we playing each
I
other?
think I'm facing Worthy. I might be wrong.
Well, I don't have Worthy in the Real Fans Real Talk league. In the Real Fans Real Talk league.
Okay,
In the Real Fans Real Talk league, yeah, Real Fans Real Talk. My receivers are St. Brown. I got Devontae Smith. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. I loaded up, like I said, I loaded up at the receiver position because, like I said, you could get more there.
Yeah.
But let's get to the picks.
I didn't mean to derail the show with
No.
fantasy.
We're not derailing that. Listen, that falls in line with what's going on right now. People want to talk fantasy. We got to talk fantasy, man. Let's get to the games right now. Guys, make sure that you are not only subscribed to Real Fans Real Talk. To the Sanchez Show, but also Real Fans Real Talk. We go live on Saturdays, on Fridays with the Sanchez Show. We go live with Real Fans Real Talk on Sundays and Mondays. Will Gordon, Eric Sanchez. We are the opinionated ones. You see our social media handles on the bottom. So make sure you shoot over and follow us. Send us questions, comments. We'll get into it on the show. Now, I'm going to put your picks across the bottom of the screen because it's that time. We got to get to some picks.
Let's do it.
You and I both. Let's go into the first ones that we know we had. So we had Baltimore yesterday. You had them to win outright. I had them to cover the 3. That didn't work out. We both take an L to start the season. But I still feel confident. Again, it was a one-score game. It kind of went the way we thought it was going to go. Yep. Tonight you have Green Bay winning. I have Green Bay plus 2.5.
Oh, that's a lot, right? Damn. Yeah, Green Bay just went up.
Yeah, Green Bay just went up on the end of round. For Philly, let me ask you a question. If Philly loses tonight, do you look at Philly differently? Do you question can they win the NFC East, or do you feel like it's just opening night in a neutral site game?
Nah, could be because if this game was in Philly, I would have picked Philly.
Right.
I think it being a neutral site game it's kind of a downfall for them because they're another team with another shiny new toy with Saquon. So you got to try to kind of figure that out, how you're going to work that in. And when you look across the field at Green Bay, I feel like they just hitting their stride. Jordan Love is showing a command of that, like last year, the way the last year ended. He was showing a command of that offense. And Matt LaFleur is a hell of a coach. And the guys buying in like it seems like they are in Green Bay. And he's got some young, spry weapons at his disposal. And Jordan Love, the reason what I really like about him is he looks like he's been here before, like he never looks rattled. So I feel good about what they got going on in Green Bay.
I agree. I know when we talked about this game last week, because we picked the Thursday and the Friday game, the neutral site played a big factor, because I agree with you. I think these teams are close, maybe not quite even, but they are close. So a neutral site eliminates any home field advantage. I also think the Philly secondary, to me, is kind of a show and prove point. They got to show me they can be better than they were at the end of last season. I know they spent a lot of draft capital, but until I can consistently see that they're better, I think they're going to struggle at times this year. So that's why I also like Green Bay in this game. Those are the two things that stuck out the most to me. But I agree with you as well. If Philly were to lose tonight, I don't think it's panic time. I wouldn't say
no.
They're in trouble. It's a neutral site game. Just like you would see at the start of any college football season. They'll be fine long term. Let's get to the games on Sunday though. Do you want to go game by game, or do you want to start with your 401k pick of the week or your upset pick? Either one.
Let's go game by game.
All right. So let's go game by game. We got Pittsburgh in Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 3.5. I know you're picking the game outright. Russell Wilson, shaky preseason. We got Kirk Cousins coming back from an injury, so we got those questions there. We got Raheem Morris, his second stint as a head coach. We got Mike Tomlin, who's never had a losing season. How do you see week one playing out for these two teams?
Who did I pick? Atlanta for this game? I think I picked
Atlanta. You got Atlanta, yeah. I got your pick scrolling across the bottom.
Okay. All right, yeah. I picked Atlanta because of one reason, basically. I think Bijan Robinson is one of the special talents in this league. And I know the Steelers got TJ Watt on the other side of the ball, but you can run plays away from him. You know what I mean? Like, opposite the way he lines up, the offense is going to always have an advantage when it comes to things like that. Kirk Cousins coming back off of the Achilles is a question mark. But most people will have more faith in Kirk in the position he's in right now than either one of Pittsburgh quarterbacks, especially on the road, I think. And being in the position of, well, not Russell, but being in a position of, like a new cast and all. Well, Russell does not have what's the receiver that left? Deontay
Johnson, who's down in Carolina.
Deontay Johnson left, yeah.
They still got George Pickens.
Yeah, I'm not. He's nobody to write home about.
I don't think Deontay Johnson really was either, though.
True, but this is one of those games. If it was in Pittsburgh, I'd probably pick Pittsburgh. I'm just going with the home team on this one. Drake London is going to be a threat, and I think the biggest question mark in this game is, can Kirk unleash Kyle Pitts? Like, we've been waiting on Kyle Pitts to show something for the longest time. And if you look at Kirk Cousins' success, he's always had a tight end that he could dump the ball off to. So this is one of those games where I wouldn't be surprised either way, but I'm going to go with the home team and take Atlanta.
I understand it. I agree with you from the standpoint of Atlanta. I'm interested to see how Kurt works with those young weapons, with Bijan, with Drake London, with Kyle Pitts. If they can get the maximum out of their talent now that they have a veteran quarterback on that team. For me, though, I like Pittsburgh. And from the gambling aspect, I would take the 3.5 points just because I don't think Atlanta is more than a field goal better than Pittsburgh. But outright, I like Pittsburgh as well because we got Kirk coming off a significant injury. And now he was already a statue of a quarterback. So now his mobility is going to be even more limited against a defense that's really good. This defense, the Pittsburgh defense, they get TJ Watt back, they get Cameron Hayward back. Obviously, we know about Minka. It's a good defense, and I think they're going to put a lot of pressure. And a lot's been made about Atlanta and the weapons and Kirk, but we ain't really talked about the offensive line. And so unless I can see the offensive line holding up against that pass rush, I think Kirk's going to be in for a long day. I wouldn't be surprised. Mike Tomlin, you and I agree, because somebody had posed this question about should he be on a hot seat. You and I agree he should not be on the hot seat. But I would not be surprised if Mike Tomlin treats this as a like, I gotta start making statements now that y'all even questioning my coaching ability. Because the last few years I've been out here with fucking Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph as my quarterbacks and still having winning seasons. And the fact that people even think that my job should be in question. Now I got to turn up the heat on y'all and show y'all what type of caliber coach I am. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh makes a statement. He's had weeks to prepare for this game. They might have pass rush packages that Kurt ain't even ready to see. This is a game I think Pittsburgh probably gets like 5 sacks. So I like Pittsburgh a lot. I think they go in and they win that game. Arizona at Buffalo. This is one of my favorite games of the weekend, Will. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
One of my favorite ones. Arizona at Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 6.5, so they pretty much favored by a touchdown. Who do you like in this game?
I think that line is outright disrespectful.
I 1,000% agree.
And I've got Arizona straight up to win this football game. Buffalo lost a lot, man.
Yeah.
They lost a lot. And it's the first game of the year, so you ain't got the weather on your side. Arizona, for the most part, is 100% healthy. And Marvin Harrison he's already I'm not worried about him at all, like having any kind of rookie jitters. He's been a pro for 2 years. So what's your answer for him? You gave up on your secondary that was good. You let a lot of those guys go.
3 guys from that
Tre'Davious White's gone.
Both safeties and Tre'Davious White are gone.
Yeah. So, like, what are you bringing to the table besides Josh Allen? Curtis Samuel? You think I'm scared of Curtis Samuel? Running back situation. What is the situation for running back in Buffalo right now? It's not impressive.
You know, he was strong to end the year, but it's a different amount of pressure now. It was different when you had Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis on the outside, and teams had to respect that. Now that you don't have that, you start seeing more heat in the box. They lean on you, and you're going to see more one-on-one coverage on the outside, and they'll say, we dare you to throw the ball to these inexperienced receivers.
And Josh Allen loves to throw to the other jersey. People don't like to point that out, but he turns the ball over at a good clip. I just don't think this is a spot where they are ready to win coming out the box. Pause. I see Arizona taking this in like a kind of game that's going to. I could see it playing out to like a 24-20 type game, but I got Arizona all day.
I love Arizona in this spot. It's one of my upset picks. There's another game that I love as an upset pick as well. But I agree with you. I think the 6.5 is more about the respect that gamblers have had towards Buffalo in the past. But this ain't the same Buffalo team. They're not the same offense, and they damn sure not the same defense. And even when they had that secondary that we talked about, they still struggle with a pass rush. They can't get to the quarterback. So now you're giving them a mobile quarterback who's going to extend plays and look down the field and make big plays down the field. I think this game gets ugly for Buffalo. I think they lose this game, and it's going to be the first time people really say, like, yeah, Buffalo is in a lot of fucking trouble this year, defensively and offensively. Because if they get behind in this game, I want to know I want to see, not that I want to know, I want to see what receivers are Josh Allen going to trust if they happen to be down 7 points, 10 points in this game. Because now you don't have Diggs and Gabe Davis.
Buffalo's going to finish third in that division.
I have the same thing when I pick the East. I have the Jets and Miami as first and second in that division.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what happens when they get down by a touchdown or more. What receivers is he going to trust? Or is it going to be the tight end? Is it going to be force feeding the tight end? Because James Cook, I think he's a good running back, but it's different when you're the running back that's the afterthought, when everybody's paying attention to the receivers. When everybody's paying attention to the receivers and not having to focus on the running game. So I like the Cardinals in this one as well. Bears at Titans. Bears favored by 3.5. Give me your thoughts.
So when you look at Chicago, this is a team that should not have had the first pick in the draft. This is not your traditional team that won 3 games and got the first pick in the draft. They manipulated the shit out of Carolina a few years ago, fleeced them when they wanted Bryce Young so bad. They wanted him so bad and gave up that first round pick. The Bears is a team that won 7 games last year. They shouldn't be anywhere near the first pick in the draft. So let's look at what they got already established. They've got, let's not say that. Let's look at what they've assembled. DJ Moore, one of the better receivers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They acquired Keenan Allen in trade, one of the best route runners that's ever played the game. In the draft, they go get Azunde. Adunze. Beast. From all I can tell from watching Hard Knocks. That's all. That's my file on him. It's Hard Knocks. Beast. So you talking about 1, 2, 3 down the line on receiver. Tight end, Cole Kmet, solid. Gerald Everett, they acquired. Great pass catching tight end. Backfield, DeAndre Swift. And then you insert Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner. And has shown some small flashes. I mean, they are very small. They're lighter flashes. Lighter or cell phone flashes. They're not big flashes. But he's shown some flashes of being able to make some pretty impressive throws. But I am going with the Titans this week.
I don't know why. I'll be honest with you.
You know why I am? Because it's the NFL. And you can expect the unexpected. And when I looked up and down the slate for this week, on paper, the Bears are better, right? But we haven't seen them on paper. On the field yet.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, for sure they're supposed to get it done. But do you trust Eberflus to put it all together? That's kind of where it came down to for me. And I just think this is the perfect letdown type situation for a week 1 game where the Titans, who lost Derrick Henry, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got a question mark at quarterback with Will Levis. Wait, hold up. Titans quarterback. Yeah, Will Levis still quarterback, right?
Yeah, Will Levis. Mm-hmm.
When I look at the schedule this week, the team with the least amount of pressure on it, I think, is the Titans. With the least amount of people expecting them to do something. And then it's going to be a whole lot of eyes on Chicago with Caleb being a number 1 pick. I'm not. No, I know they were a decent football team last year, and I know Caleb is expected to do good things. I just think the Titans are going ahead carefree, without a, no care in the world, and they're gonna be playing free. They're gonna have fun, and I think this is a perfect spot for them to catch an upset. So how you drop that? I'm just going with the Titans.
So I hear you, but nothing about the Titans to me makes me think they could win this game. There's a couple teams this year that I'm be honest with you, I'm gonna probably bet against them most of the year because I expect them to at least lose 12 games. So that means 12 times out the year they're gonna win some money for me. The Titans
That's
are one
New
of those
England for
teams.
me.
Yeah, I think New England. I think the Titans. I think the Panthers. I think those three teams are losing at least 12 games this year.
Damn.
With that being said, you got Will Levis, who's a bad quarterback with a shaky running game, no receivers on the outside because DeAndre Hopkins is out. Right? They got Calvin Ridley. That's it. You got a rookie head coach. Yeah, Hopkins is out for the first 4 weeks. I think 4 to 6 weeks he's out with an injury. He got injured that third week in the preseason.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hopkins out.
I didn't know that.
You got a rookie head coach in Brian Callahan. Unless again the rookie head coach is gonna have to show me something because I can't trust that you can game plan for this situation when I think if what you and I said when we talked about the Bears was they have potential to be a playoff team. If they are going to be a playoff team, I stand on what I've been saying for weeks now. They got to get off to a hot start, and a part of that getting to a hot start is going to have to be the Titans. So I don't think they lose this game. I think the Bears win this game, bro. I think the Bears win this game. I think they cover the 3.5, and I think they win this pretty significantly.
Jalen Reed doing whatever he wants, by the way.
I mean, it's like I said, Will, my main concern with the Eagles is their secondary.
Yeah.
That dude like he didn't have a defender within 15 yards of him.
Yeah. And Ricardo Blankenship is nice, but yeah, everybody else is.
I'm just saying it. That's my main thing with this Eagles secondary. You see it on the replay. There's no reason a receiver should be that wide open running through your secondary. Eagles gonna have a lot of trouble in that secondary, bro. That's gonna be the Achilles heel all year for them. That secondary. That secondary got exposed like a motherfucker at the end of last season. It's gonna keep happening. Those young guys are too young. They're not ready for that moment. They don't get enough pass rush anymore.
Lucky for them, the only thing that they got to worry about is the Cowboys, because look at the receiving corps for the other teams.
Right.
Like, who you worried about in Washington?
Nobody. But we know that already. That's why I said
New York.
That's why I said I expect them to win the division, but then I don't expect them to make noise come playoff time until they figure that part out. That's just the way it's going to be with them. They'll win the division. The division is weak, but against the better teams in the NFC, they might be a second round team, maybe a second round team.
Yeah.
The Patriots at Cincinnati. I don't know if we got to spend too much time on this. You got Cincinnati.
That's my lock of the week.
I got Cincinnati. That's my 401k pick of the week. As we talked about the Patriots, we expect the Patriots to lose a lot of games this year. That's a game in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's looking to rebound after a disappointing season last year. The Bengals should beat the shit out of the Patriots.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, that's my lock of the week too.
Texans at Colts. Texans favored by 3. I know you got the Texans to win the game. Do you have any insight you want to provide on it though?
I'm seeing a lot of people thinking that the Texans are going to fall off this year from what they did last year. And that's just disrespect to CJ Stroud. He's shown me nothing to show any signs of regression. Like he looks the part. He studies the game. He's what you want as a quarterback. They added weapons. They got better on both sides of the ball. And in a weak division, I think Houston's going to make some crazy noise this year. Starting with week 1.
I got the Colts to cover the 3. I think the Colts lose, but they will cover the 3. Both their games last year against CJ Stroud were close games. The Colts won the first one, and then the Texans won that Sunday night game for the playoff spot. So I expect the game to be close. I'm one of the people, I wouldn't say regression because I still have the Texans winning the division. I just don't see the Texans taking a step that a lot of people expect. Last year, they played a last place schedule. They got fat against weaker opponents and weaker quarterbacks. This year, as I've highlighted, they got about, including within their division, they got about 11 really tricky games for them. Whereas, like, if things don't go right, they could lose and they could slip up some of these places. So, do I think the Texans still win the division and win 10 games? Yeah, I think they do. I just don't think they're going to be as explosive as everybody thinks. And you made a key point earlier when you talked about teams with the new toy. They're one of those teams because you got to integrate Stephon Diggs now, right? Remember Tank Dell got hurt last year, so you got to figure out that situation with the receivers, and you're mixing in Joe Mixon. So you got some new toys there where I would not be surprised if through the first 2 or 3 weeks you see them kind of like have start and stop moments where it's like, all right, on that possession they look great. On that possession they went 3 and out because they're still trying to figure it out. So I think they're still a 10-win team. I still think the Texans are a playoff team. I just don't view them as a team that's going to take the next step just yet. I think they played above their head last year.
Where I think they fall into a different category is their new toys are like they're like the best toys because Nico Collins and Tank Dell, right? Mm-hmm. Those are your receiving threats. I don't think they're either one of them are widely regarded as a number 1. And I think Diggs is. So I think immediately he's alpha dog number 1. And then you've got 2 guys that are both strong number 2s, and then which means the leftover guy is going to be probably one of the stronger 3s in the league. And I think the ultimate straw to stir this drink is a veteran running back that can run between the tackles and be a threat in the receiving game in the flats in a Joe Mixon. I think they have the proper ingredients to complement what they already had. I think they're building it right.
I think they're building something, but I don't think it's going to gel as quickly as you're mentioning it. And I think as some people even think, this is going to take time. And we've seen it all the time in the NFL. It's very rare you get the perfect blend of like, oh, we're going to be this team that can air it out. But then if you take that away, we can rely on our running back. A lot of times you really become one or the other. You become a team that starts forcing the pass down the field and you throw the ball 40 times a game, or you rely on the running game. Because if you're Joe Mixon isn't an explosive back. We're not talking about like a Saquon where with Saquon, if you get him 15 carries, he's gonna make the most of those 15 carries because he's gonna have 2 or 3 runs that he just breaks that are big runs. With Joe Mixon, you gotta get him involved. You gotta keep him in the mix to get him to be his best version of himself because he's not gonna succeed with just 15 carries. He got to be closer to 18 to 20 carries to succeed. And if I'm running the ball 20 times, that means I'm not throwing the ball 40 times. And if I'm not throwing the ball, Stephon Diggs, is he going to get enough touches? Because that became the issue in Buffalo. And then if I start force feeding him, how are my other guys going to fall in line? So that's something I'm paying attention to. Again, I think the team is good, but there's a lot of stuff that I think we're just assuming is going to work with a young team. When I want to see it. I'll just put it that way. I want to see it work before I say, yeah, I think CJ Stroud is phenomenal. He's fired. But I just don't think the other pieces are going to be as smooth as everybody thinks. Because I saw the way.
Is that a Richardson jersey you got on?
It is. Yes, it is.
I just peeped that. I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, it is.
What's that patch?
Oh, I threw the patch on it myself. This is the 40th anniversary patch from last year.
Oh, okay. That's what threw me. I was like, hold on. I ain't seen that one.
Yeah. I customized it. Shout out to my man, Carolina Sports Plus. I got the Richardson jersey from him, and I threw the patch on it.
Okay.
Jags at Miami. Miami's favored by 3.5. I like Miami. I think Jacksonville has a bounce back year this year, but early in the season, I think Miami's one of the toughest teams to game plan for because Mike McDaniels don't have all these different wrinkles in their offense. So I like Miami. What do you like though?
I like Miami too. It's pretty much the same offense we saw last year with another year of experience and camaraderie under their belt. Jacksonville, I've seen a few people talk about they think they're gonna see a surge from Jacksonville this year. That might be true, but at Miami, I think it's gonna be a track meet, and I'm not sure Jacksonville has the athletes to keep up with what Miami's throwing out there. Until I see different from both teams, I'm going with Miami.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jacksonville over the course of the season will get better, but early on, Miami is just too tough, and that's a track meet. They're healthy. They're gonna throw the ball around. Tua might throw for 400 yards in this game. It's Miami. Let's get through these games a little quicker. That way we can enjoy the second half of this game. I know we're getting close to halftime there.
There's 2 minutes left in the half. 2:03
right.
left.
Panthers at Saints. Again, another game we ain't got to spend too much time on. I already said I think the Panthers lose 12 games this year. This is one of those 12. I like the Saints. Saints are favored by 4 at home. You got the Saints as well.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints.
This next one is one of my upset picks. Vikings at Giants. Vikings are favored by 1.5. I like the Giants because I don't like Sam Darnold. Jordan Addison's a little banged up. Listen, Sam Darnold's the same guy who said I was seeing ghosts out there. So I'm not trusting no quarterback who would ever say some shit like that. I like the Giants. Not that the Giants are a good team, but I think both these teams are bad right now. So I'm going to take the points, and I'm going to take the home team and the Giants.
You taking the home team? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking Minnesota because I think the Giants are going to be the worst team in the league this year. And I think this loss will be the starting point for my prediction of them being the worst team in the league. When you lose to Sam Darnold at home, opening week, they have nothing to speak for on offense in Minnesota. Who's their starting running back? Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones, yep.
Dunsky. Receiver-wise, is Justin Jefferson playing?
Yeah, Justin Jefferson's playing. I don't think Jordan Addison. TJ Hockenson. No, hold on. I'm sorry. TJ Hockenson, last time I saw, is out. Addison
He's out.
Expected to play. Yeah, Hockenson is out. Addison's expected to play.
And Jefferson's playing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chalk it. I'm going Minnesota.
I mean,
I don't think it's a situation where where Darnold's gonna have to throw the ball 35 times. I think if they can get something, if they can score first and get something out of their run game, I think they'll have enough to sustain the Giants. I just think the Giants are going to be terrible this year. I think they're going to have the worst record in the league.
Listen, I think it's a lose-lose no matter what. If we put our faith in either one of these teams, it's probably going to end bad. So they both bad teams. The loser has the inside track to the number 1 pick. If the Vikings
I got the Giants. Like I don't know if I said it on our show, but the Giants are going to be the worst team in the league. And the first pick in the draft is going to be Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things Tripp's been talking about as well. Shedeur going to the Giants. Either way, I mean, if the Vikings had J.J. McCarthy, I'd probably be a little more confident in the Vikings. But Sam Darnold is so trash, bro. That I'm just serious. Like, he's trash. He's one of them guys that after you say, yeah, I like the Vikings, then you watch him play and you're like, I don't know why I ever put any faith in him. It was the same thing in Carolina as well. He's terrible. Broncos at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 6. I got the Broncos to cover. I think Sean Payton does a good enough job to keep them in this game. I'm not a big fan of Bo Nix, but the defense is pretty good. You're choosing between Bo Nix and Geno Smith. Who do you like here, Will?
I like Geno at home over Bo Nix on the road. So I saw a stat. This is going to be very inaccurate, but it's going to be in it's going to be in the ballpark that first round quarterbacks on the road
Yeah,
are like 0 and 20 something,
yeah.
right? Over the last I don't X amount of years. I don't think Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos is going to be that team to buck the trend. And I just think Gino, Gino and them boys are more war ready with Tyler Lockett and DK. They got a few more pieces on defense. Kenneth Walker is going to be on a mission. I don't see a blowout, but I'm going Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I like Seattle's roster. I just think Sean Payton finds a way to keep the game close.
I think
I
Sean
think
Payton's one of the most overrated coaches ever.
even fair. Listen, even if you think he's overrated, you're talking about a rookie head coach in Seattle. Again, how much faith am I putting in your game plan? I don't know what your identity is. I don't know what your game plan is. And then you add into the fact that it's Geno Smith as your quarterback. You take away that 1 year that Geno played well. Geno has been a bad quarterback overall for his career.
He
So
had two. He had 2 years.
he had two.
He had
He had
two
like two out
decent
of
years.
right. He had 2 out of 9 years that he's been okay. So to
He's a
me,
late
I would
bloomer.
take okay if that's what we want to call it. But I'm taking the points. I'll take the points. I'm not. I don't think the Broncos could win because I think Seattle is a tough place to go win a game. But I think you can at least keep it within a touchdown. That's what I think. Vegas at your Chargers. Tricky situation because even though the Chargers are the home team, is probably going to be a heavy Raider fan base there. I like the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3 points. I think the Chargers win. I saw Gardner Minshew up close and personal last year as a Colts fan. Ain't much to see there. They ain't got much in the running game. Outside of that pass rush, Vegas ain't got much. And Jim Harbaugh, everywhere he's gone, Harbaugh has been a winner. So I expect them to continue that trend with the Chargers. I like the Chargers in this one.
No, I'm not. I'm not even a homer, but I like the Chargers in this game. Um, Gardner Minshew. I'm not. Come on. I think we got too much talent on defense. They can show him too many looks and can rattle him, especially on the road. Um, we're gonna get him off his spots with Khalil Mack coming off one end, uh, Joey Bosa coming off the other, and then you got to worry about guys like like my DJ on the back end. Like
Right.
I just think we're too talented for this team, and I think Harbaugh's got something up his sleeve. Like you said, he wins everywhere he goes, and I do not think he's going to start his tenure as the Los Angeles Chargers head coach losing to Gardner Minshew. Um, I think we're going to run the football effectively against this line because they're not strong up the middle. They're strong on the edges. What we're going to want to do is run the football up the middle, um, led by the Gus Bus. I don't know if too many people paid attention that we converted an offensive lineman. We actually are the only one of the only teams in the league with a listed fullback now, which who was a converted offensive lineman is 6'4", 300 pounds. So we gonna be running I and strong all day, and we gonna see who really brought their lunch pails. And with the Justice injury in the preseason, I think was overstated. It was more of a let's go ahead and rest you up type situation. I think he's going to throw the football a lot more than people expect as well. I expect a real nice old school type of balance from my football team this year. That's going to keep a lot of teams guessing, and I just think we're top to bottom better than the Raiders. So I got us. I got the Chargers.
Yeah, I think top to bottom, I agree with that as well. It's a better roster. Again, Gardner Minshew last year, he got paid because of the job he did with the Colts, helping them win 9 games. But a lot of that was the help around him. The O line was good. The running game was good with Jonathan Taylor. Michael Pittman was a 1,000-yard receiver. The defense was good. So Gardner Minshew was a game manager. He doesn't get all those things in LA, Vegas, I should say. So there's going to be a lot of struggles there. And I expect, again, Harbaugh to say, listen, you're not going to beat us. We're going to double Devontae Adams. You're going to have to rely on Jacoby Myers or somebody else. Brock Bowers, I think, is already listed as out for this game, so you're already missing weapons on the offensive side of things. I just don't see it happening. And Antonio Pierce, it was a great story last year, the way he motivated that team. But Antonio Pierce is not a better head coach than Jim Harbaugh, sorry. So I just don't see it happening. He's not going to out-scheme him. He's not going to out-coach him. Yeah, neither one, right. Neither one of the Harbaughs. He's not a better head coach than him, so he's not going to out-scheme him. He can motivate the guys all you want, but when Gardner Minshew's throwing 3 interceptions, it's tough to be motivated. All right, let's fly through the next couple. Next couple ones is good though. But Dallas at Cleveland. Cleveland's favored by 2.5. I got Dallas in that game. Dallas pass rush, I think, is gonna have their way. Remember, Nick Chubb is still not back. Deshaun Watson has not looked good during his tenure in Cleveland. I like Dallas.
I should like Dallas for every reason that you said, but this one of them games where I just got a feeling like I feel like the Browns are gonna come out with more sense of urgency than Cleveland. I think at this point, as far as like, you know how every franchise wants the football team to connect with the community and the fan base and all that. I feel like the Browns are more connected to their community than the Cowboys are. And now the Cowboys' whole thing has always been, oh, it's our year, it's our year. 30 years later, it ain't been your year. Now the Browns ain't never had that, right? Mm-hmm. But they always show up. They always show up. And I think that defense, now offensively, I'm not impressed by the Browns, but I think that defense at home in a week 1 emotional game is going to be a problem for Dak and them. Myles Garrett is a single man game record. You know what I'm saying? And they got some dogs on defense. And Mike McCarthy is still the head coach in Dallas, right?
For now. Yeah, for now.
Yeah. I think this is a spot where Dallas goes out and loses the game like 18-17.
I mean,
I like the Browns.
When I thought about this game, I remember the Browns last year. The defense was very good at home and struggled on the road. I just feel like their offensive line is bad. They're not going to be able to run the ball. They don't have any explosive playmakers at the receiver position. Dallas defense is still pretty good. And I'm on record as saying I think Dallas misses the playoffs this year because I just think that Dallas has some issues of their own they got to work through. Dallas is not going to make the playoffs this year. That's one of my bold predictions. But I think in this game, they're better than the Browns. And so I just expect them to not only cover the 2.5, but outright win, man. Let's get quick through the next one. Commanders at Tampa. Tampa favored by 3.5. Shout out to Vern. I saw Vern actually early today. He was traveling down to Tampa for this game. I got the Commanders covering and possibly even winning this game. I don't have faith in Baker Mayfield. I think Mike Evans, great receiver, but he's older. I don't like the running game. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jaden Daniels, you'll like this comparison, Will. I would not be surprised if Jaden Daniels has his RG3 in the Superdome moment. Remember when RG3's first game
against
of
the
his
Saints?
career in the Superdome?
Yeah, against the Saints. Against the world champion Saints. Yeah, I remember that.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if Jaden Daniels has that type of moment going back down south. That's SEC country. He go down there and he puts on a good show in Tampa. I got the Commanders winning in Tampa.
I don't. Now I can see Jaden Daniels having a good game, but the Commanders' defense is putrid. And when you say Mike Evans is older, who's going to guard him?
I just think they're going to roll coverage his way. They're going to roll
And then who's going to guard Chris Godwin?
I mean, Baker Mayfield got to get him the ball.
Dude, the Commanders secondary.
And I'm telling you what they're going to do. Remember,
their secondary is Swiss cheese.
You got Dan Quinn, he's made his bones as a defensive coordinator. They're going to roll coverage. They're going to take chances.
The defensive coordinator that was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah.
That guy?
But listen, you can say but he also won a Super Bowl with Seattle.
Yeah. With one of the more talented defenses that's ever stepped on the football field.
I'm just saying, if we're going to highlight 28-3, which I agree with, we also got to highlight the successes as well.
28-3 is more about him than the Seattle team was, because the Seattle team's offense 28-3 was scheming.
I think 28-3 was more about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was stubborn and didn't want to run the ball in that game.
But
I mean, they kept passing the ball.
Kyle didn't call the defense that came back from 25 down.
There was also fluke plays in that one, because that Julian Edelman catch over the middle is one of the flukiest plays you ever see. Now, it happened. It is what it is. But 99% of the time, that ball just hits the ground and the play is over. But he makes the catch. They get a lot of momentum. The fumble in that game is what changed that game and gave the Patriots momentum. Ultimately, I just think, listen, this ain't Tom Brady and the Patriots. We could say 28-3 all we want, and that's history, yes. But this ain't the Patriots. This ain't Tom Brady. This is Baker Mayfield and the fucking Bucs.
But
I don't think the Bucs are that good.
But the last thing we saw from Baker Mayfield was effective football. That's what got him his new deal, right? He just got a new deal off effective football.
I know you're not the person highlighting Baker Mayfield and effective football.
I'm not highlighting him. I said effective football. You think that's a ringing endorsement?
That sounds like it. Effective football and Baker Mayfield.
Effective football is kind of ringing endorsement.
You said the last time we saw him, as if like that's what we hang our hat on.
Last season.
I don't listen.
In the season before that,
you like the Bucs?
Listen. The Bucs are more talented.
Okay.
Mike Evans feasts on Washington. Feasts on him. And who you gonna put on him? Emmanuel Forbes? He can't check me. Emmanuel Forbes can't check me, dog. If you put Emmanuel Forbes across from me, if you give me like 3 chili dogs, and then I go off the line and I'm fighting, he can't check me, dog. He can't check me.
Dan Quinn is a zone defensive coordinator. He is not going to play man-to-man. They're going to roll coverage side to side based on the situation. They're going to force Baker Mayfield to throw in the coverage. I'm telling you, they're not.
So you telling me that this veteran-laden team at home is going to lose to a rookie quarterback with a whole bunch of new pieces?
Yeah, because I just don't think that the Bucs are that good.
All right, go ahead and take that L. Wait, what did I say was my lock of the week? The Bengals?
The Bengals, yeah.
So what's the other pick we do? We do the lock of the week and we do the
upset pick of the week.
Oh, this ain't no upset though. Never mind.
Yeah,
and you know why it ain't no upset? Because the Bucs are better.
I mean, Vegas don't even think they're that much better. You get 2.5 points just for being a home team. This is only a 3.5 point spread. Vegas don't even think they're that much better. If you look at the teams when Vegas thinks you're much better, Cincinnati's a 7.5 point favorite over the Pats. Seattle's a 6 point favorite.
I don't understand. Like the Bucs got a better right now passing game. Definitely with the receivers, they got better passing game.
They got better receivers. They got a more established
better running back. They got a better running back.
Who's the running back?
Rashawn something. He started last year. Yeah, White. He started all last year. He's better than.
I mean,
who the fuck is the Washington starting running back?
I believe Brian Robinson starting at running back.
He's a jag. He's just a guy. I'm not worried about him.
I'm telling you, I don't listen. If I'm wrong, then I'll say if they lose and it's convincing that they lost, I'll be like, all right, then I was wrong. I just don't think Tampa's that good.
I just don't think Washington's that good.
I don't think Washington's good at all. I've said that already. I think when I
so how can you say they're not good at all? But Tampa's not that good. Washington's not good at all. But you picked Washington
because there's a perfect situation. Because there's a perfect situation where a head coach got to scheme up for you for weeks. This is the prime situation when a head coach like Dan Quinn could scheme up for you for weeks, so he could throw defenses at you that you weren't prepared for.
So we see it Tampa's coach ain't scheming up for Washington.
No, because there's not enough film to really figure out what. So what film? Hold on. So what film can you highlight for Jaden Daniels and figure out what type of pressure packages you could bring to him?
It ain't gotta be about. It ain't gotta be all about him.
But hold on. When I just said that, you laughed as if like, oh, that's crazy to think that way. There isn't enough.
So
film.
you think they don't have a foul on Jaden Daniels? You think they ain't look at what he did well in college, knowing that that's what Washington's going to try to do with him? What he did well.
You don't know that though. That's my point. You don't know what.
But they're going to try to do what he did well.
You don't know what the Commanders' game plan is with Jaden Daniels because you haven't seen anything on film. You could sit there and assume, right? Every coach is assuming, yeah, they're probably going to do this, they're probably going to do that. But when you're on the field, that's when it changes because it's like, all right, there's certain things that we just couldn't game plan for. Again, I'm not saying the Commanders are a good team. I think the Commanders are going to be a third-place team. But what I think is going to happen is Jaden Daniels is going to go down there. Jaden Daniels is going to cause havoc with his legs and make plays. And the Bucks, who their defense has been regressing for 3 years now. That's not a good defense. He's going to have great moments against that defense that isn't that good. That team is not that good. Baker Mayfield, I guarantee you, is going to probably have, I would at least say one turnover, if not two. I don't think Tampa's good at all.
I think Jaden Daniels has the opportunity to have those type of games down the road. Week 1 at Tampa, nah. Bucks all day.
I think, like I said, this is a perfect spot for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. This isn't a great opponent. You can go in there and you can beat them. That defense.
So you saying this is the perfect spot, right? If they lose, then what's your outlook for them for the rest of the year? If this is the perfect spot,
they're third place team regardless, whether they win or lose this game. They're not better than the Cowboys. They're not better than the Eagles. They're better than the Giants. That's the only team in their division that they're guaranteed to probably get 2 wins off of. Everybody else, they're gonna lose the other 4 games against the Cowboys and the Eagles. I'm not opening day ain't changing my opinion about the Commanders. I'm focusing purely on this matchup.
And when you say that, when you say that the Giants are the only team they're gonna have a winning record against, you do know that Daniel Jones only has a winning record against one team, right?
Okay.
Washington.
What does that have to do with this year, though?
I'm just saying. I'm just putting out the data. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting out the data.
So you're telling me. So you're telling me that.
No, I'm not telling you nothing. All I'm telling you is.
So they ain't saying nothing then, because you're saying, oh, you shifted it to, oh well, he got a winning record against him. Okay, cool. What does that mean for this year?
The only team he has a winning record against.
Well, what does that have to do with this year?
Nothing until it plays out. Okay. But
so again, my point still remains. You said if they lose, how do I look at the Commanders? I said I still look at them as a third place team. They're the third best. You're telling me, where do you have the Commanders finishing in this division, Will?
Third.
So what does it matter whether they win or lose? You still got them as a third place team in this division.
Because this is week to week.
Right. And this week, I think this is a winnable matchup for them. And I think the line from Vegas kind of indicates that. There's no way, if they felt Tampa was far and ahead better than them, that is not a 3.5-point line. I promise you, we can look at other lines from week 2, week 3 already with the Commanders, where Vegas is letting you know, yeah, Commanders are far worse than that team that they're facing. The fact that this line is at 3.5, Vegas knows this is going to be a close competitive game because they don't think Tampa's that much better than them. So that's why I like the Commanders in the game. I'm not putting no stock in Baker Mayfield anymore.
You like
I'm
them
surprised
straight up,
you
or
are.
you like them against the spread?
I like them to cover the spread, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win. If I'm
So
putting money on it, I'm taking the 3.5.
So you going against the spread?
Yeah, every week I go against the spread.
And who's favored in the spread? Not Washington,
Tampa.
right?
Tampa's favored by 3.5.
See, that's another difference. You know, I don't pick against the damn spread. I pick winners and losers.
I'm not asking you to pick against the spread. I'm telling you what I'm picking. I'm picking the 3.5 I like. And I'm saying I would not be surprised if they even win this game. I expect this to be within a field goal game. I don't think Tampa is that much better than them. That's what I'm saying.
Let's get off this trash ass game.
Yeah, exactly. 2 games, good games to finish off the week. The Sunday night game, the Rams at Detroit. Detroit is favored by 4.5. I like Detroit in this game. I know the playoff game was close, but that was also with the pressure of Detroit not winning a playoff game in damn near 30 years. Now, Detroit is a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I like them to beat the Rams. I think the Rams defense is suspect.
This is one of those games that I do not overthink. I think this is a Jared Goff revenge game. I think Detroit has way more firepower. And I think the loss of Aaron Donald is going to show exactly how amazing he was as a football player when he's not on the field. I think with those 3 things, we're going to see real quick that LA was a flash in the pan, and Detroit, the way they building it. And I clowned Dan Campbell when he came in with Detroit. I clowned him, but he has completely changed the culture up there. I can see them competing for championships, and I think Detroit is going to have no issues taking on the Rams this week.
Yeah, I think the Rams are just in a tough spot. It's another one of them tough spots because defensively, I don't think they match up well at all. Probably be a shootout at points, but I just like Detroit. I'm big on Detroit this year. I like Detroit in that one. Sunday night game of the week. Jets at San Fran. San Fran is favored by 4.5.
That's on Monday?
I'm sorry, Monday. Detroit is the Sunday night game. That's the Monday night game.
Okay.
Jets at San Fran. San Fran favored by 4.5. Go ahead, Will.
This might be the best game on the whole docket for the weekend. What I will own here, but prior to week 1, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be comeback player of the year. Can you be comeback player of the year if you only played 4 snaps?
Absolutely.
If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, which is, I mean, I hate the if caveat. You know what I mean? I hate it. But here it's like, it's legit. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy and upright, the Jets are good enough to go to the Super Bowl. They're good enough. Now, they're going to have teams in front of them that are good enough too, like Kansas City and, so on and so forth. There's going to be teams that are good enough too. But from where they were to where they could come, pause, is outrageous. Because if you look at what they can do, oh my goodness, hold up. A.J. Brown for about 60 just now.
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yep.
How long was that? Pause.
And that was what, the second play of the half? Second play of the second half.
That'd
be like
crazy.
a 68
It's still 14 minutes left. Yeah, that was 60 something. How did he get so open?
It looked like it was a busted coverage too.
He gave him outside leverage on the inside route?
I guess he thought he had over the
That
top
was
help.
preseason work right there. Did you see that?
Yep.
All he had to do was give him one swim, and
Mhm.
the defender gave him inside leverage and played
So
him
I say
outside. That's
he must have thought he had help because he
yeah,
was
that
really
must have been
aggressive.
him. Yeah, he must have thought he had
Yeah,
help up top
because
because that's horrible.
he was super aggressive on the outside.
Where's the safety at? He's nowhere in the frame. Yeah, that was trash. The ref was in the frame, but the safety was. That was crazy. All right, what was we on?
Sunday night game. You was talking about the Jets.
Oh yeah. I think the Jets are good enough talent wise and coaching wise and scheme wise. If Aaron Rodgers is, I mean, because people want to talk about Aaron Rodgers like he's super old. This dude, did he just win an MVP like a few years ago when he
I
was
want to
supposed
say
when he was supposed to be super old again?
three,
This is after
4
Jordan
years
Love got
ago.
drafted.
4 years ago, he won the MVP when
So
that
he
was the year
didn't.
they was in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. So they didn't. He didn't play last year. The year before that, he didn't get hurt, and I know, I know he smokes nature's medicine that's keeping his body intact.
Well, he does more than that. He takes shrooms.
Yeah. Yeah, he do all the
Yeah,
natural stuff to keep your body intact that the society still frowns upon. I'm not I'm not giving up on Aaron Rodgers right now. I think the Jets can make that move.
I think so.
And I
But
kind of want to see it. I kind of
who you
want to
like
see it.
who you like Monday night though?
Oh, this Monday. I like wait, who's playing?
It's
It's
the
the
Jets at the 49ers.
Jets and the 49ers. Yeah.
Yep.
At San Fran.
Yep.
I like the 49ers at home.
I think the
And
49ers. Yep.
this is one of those games where it could come down to like a last second field goal or a 2-point conversion. But I'm gonna give it to the 49ers at home. Based off of Kyle Shanahan, I think he can out scheme Robert Salah a little bit. You know what I mean? Now
Yeah.
I like Salah, but offensively I think he's a little bit over his skis. So I think game script wise, Shanahan can kind of manipulate him and take advantage at the very end of the game. So I'm gonna go with San Francisco.
I like that you mentioned that because remember Robert Salah was their defensive coordinator
Yeah, yeah, when
before
they were all together. Yeah.
before D'Amico Ryan. So there will be that interesting fact of they went up against each other in practice for a couple years. I like the Jets in this game. This is my upset pick of the week, and it's not that San Fran isn't talented. I think San Fran is just as talented. There's a lot of guys, but with McCaffrey being banged up, with Ayuk missing all of that practice time and just getting there, I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little sluggish. And we talked about it before too with Brock Purdy. Like it's going to be a moment. You know what's going to happen here. There's Aaron Rodgers coming back home, and Aaron Rodgers is going to do what he does. And then there's going to be that group of people that looks at Brock Purdy that expects him to keep up. So I like the Jets. I like the Jets defense a lot. I like their weapons. Brees Hall came back strong last year. We know what Garrett Wilson is. Now they add Mike Williams, who's healthy for however long that works. You know better than I would that a lot of times that don't last too long, but he's healthy for right now. And I like the Jets. And I agree with everything you said. I think it's their time right now. I got them to win the division. I think they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender in the AFC. And I just think they're the upset pick of week one. I think they end off an amazing week one by upsetting the 49ers in San Fran.
Mm.
Hey, give me a final thought before we wrap up, Will.
I would just wish I wish you wills. I wish you wealth. I wish you insight so you can see for yourself. Remember that joint when he was talking wishing dudes health? I just wish dudes health through week one. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no like you never want to see anybody get hurt, but it's gonna be guys to get hurt. I don't want to see any meter movers getting hurt. You know what I mean? Like no premier quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. The people that we pay these astronomical amounts for streaming services and all the packages, the people that we want to see, I hope they stay healthy, man.
I
And
agree.
and then for all the listeners, anybody that's got end rounds and knows the bootleg sites or whatever, feel free to feel free to share them. Cause I ain't out here trying to be spending no $300-400 to watch football on YouTube. Like
That's a fact.
that's for the birds. That's for the birds. But it's week one now. That we here finally. We've been waiting on it. Enjoy it. Um, get some good food tomorrow if you're able to. Get some good snacks while you watch your team play. We here now. We revving it up. It's the season now. So let's go ahead and let's get it. Let's enjoy it. And everybody keep watching the show. Let's interact. Let's keep it, above board. You know what I'm saying? We can talk shit. Let's not be disrespectful to each other. You know what I'm saying? Charges above everything. Fuck all the rest of y'all. I don't know if that's above board. But let's keep it light. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new season. What's this, season 6 of the Opinionated Ones? We getting
Season. Nah, I think this season 5.
4,
Season 5.
5, season
5.
5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
season 5.
season 5. All right, let's get it. 5 alive, baby. You know what I'm saying? We
That's
we
definitely.
going we going and I already know you're gonna be bringing some things to the show. I'm gonna be bringing some unexpected things as well as the season goes on, and everybody that keeps on the ride with us, man, enjoy the ride. Just keep your seatbelt on, man.
That's a fact, man. As always, we want to thank all the supporters, everybody who lock in with us, sending the questions, the comments. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the Sanchez Show. As we say every Friday night, the Opinionated Ones, Friday Night Live series going down. We'll be back next Friday. For my brother Will Gordon, I am Eric Sanchez. Guys, enjoy the games. We'll see you guys next week. We out of here.